Alright, this could be technically a little exciting, I guess. So I got all these bolts loosened up all the way around here, and it felt like this was kind of loose, this whole intake plenum. So let's get some of this out of the way and then see if it'll pull on out of here. Never done this before, don't know what to expect. There we go. Wow, look at that, it's off. Neato. Let's find a place to set this down. Oh, very carefully. There we go. Okay. Well, would you look at that? One step closer. Okay. So since the critters have put a whole bunch of stuff down there, I decided it was a good idea to seal off the caps, or the inlets rather, and run the vacuum cleaner down through there. Alternator is going to be in the way, so that's got to come out. So down here there's a nifty little spot you can put a wrench in there. I had to do a little bit of convincing with the engine right here to push it out of the way with another pry bar. So if you got a friend to hold your wrench out of the way to swing that while you get your belt off, it's definitely a help. Or a good substitute is a piece of pipe. All I got is this PVC, but it should do the trick. Hopefully, give that a little tug forward, just enough. So we can slip that out of the way, and then we should be good. So to get the alternator out there, we've got a bolt there. There's one way back there, and there's this funky looking bolt, which was over here on this side, right down in there. Oops, let me hold the camera in the right spot, right there. And let's see, that's pretty much it. Regulator plug and battery plug. Obviously, if you haven't disconnected your battery terminal, do so before you start mucking around with that. You will be very surprised if that touches the frame. Okay, time for an update. So, let's see. Came to the conclusion, where would I leave off here? The alternator, that's out. Got that in the trunk, all labeled up. So, this piece, which kind of runs the whole length, I'm not sure what you call it, I'm just going to call it like the accessory mount. That all has to come out of here. So, to get that out, there's one bolt there. 3 bolts down here. Let's see if I have a pointing device right here. Let's see. It was like one down in here. That held on the side bracket here. There was another one right there. And then there's one kind of like down in there. There was a pulley right there. That guy there, took him out. There's a hidden bolt right down in there. Kind of see at the end of the screwdriver. That one's still in. That one's kind of holding this whole menagerie here. There's one there. There's the end of my screwdriver right there. There's one there. One there. So we got 3 there. We got 3 there. One on the bottom. One in the back. Disconnected main hose there, bottom one there. Probably thinking I'm gonna have to disconnect this whole pump, get him out of there, and then hopefully this whole thing will come out as an assembly. See if we can make that happen. Okay, more stuff out of the way. So I'm calling this the accessory mount. Looks like there's a water jacket that runs in between there. That's out of the way. Power steering pump is just sitting there for now. I think I can get away with not disconnecting that, although it maybe just will behoove me to do that. I don't know, we'll see. Also got this bracket out of the way, the engine bracket. That all came out of there. So we're definitely making some headway here. So I took the scrub brush and the vacuum cleaner and went around, got most of the sand and nuts and all that garbage out of here, so it's relatively clean. So at this point I'm going to say that those injectors probably can come out. Let's see if we can yank those out. And then I guess the valve cover, and then should be able to take the intake off. Oh, this is boring. You don't need to watch me unscrew nuts. Okay, well that was exciting, getting those screws off. Now that those are out of there, I see there's these little clips right down in there. I don't know if there's a better way of doing this, but it seems as though the screwdriver pops them right off pretty easy like that. I think I'm going to need my other hand to get it out of there. Like that. So we'll repeat that for all 6. And then I'm guessing that that rail will pop right out of there. May end up labeling those wire connectors there because I don't want to mix those up. That would be bad. So getting that fuel rail off was a little interesting. Still a little more dirt under there than I'd like, but I think we'll be okay. So now I'm thinking valve cover, and yeah. So valve covers were easy. 4 bolts, one there, one there, one there, one there. Actually, that side. Back those out, valve covers came right off. No problem with that. So these bolts, for the intake plenum, there's 4 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. This one down here was a real bugger. Just did not want to come out. It came out a couple of turns and then it really started binding up. So I went back in a few times, back out. Really wanted to bind, so I ended up taking some heat and kind of applying it right there, right on the back side with a small torch, just to warm it up a little bit. Probably never got above 100 degrees. It came right out after that. So this side, again, is being a trick. I haven't got quite here yet. This one came out easy, no problem with that one. This one's being a pain. So I'm going to see if I can get the camera over here and hold it in while I'm getting that one out. Hopefully that'll come out with some heat too. So I soaked that bolt with a little bit of PB Blaster. Probably not as long as I should have, but there's some on there. Let's apply a little heat. This does make me a little nervous with this gas line right here, but I got it bagged off and I don't smell any gas, so I think it should be fine. So I've had the torch on for probably 2 minutes now. The block, I can still touch it. It's definitely not hot. It's probably 70, 80, maybe 90 degrees. And the bolt is coming out easier, but it's still tough, so I'm going to give it another minute or 2 here. Getting all sorts of condensation here from the propane gas hitting this cold aluminum. Alright, we've got about another minute here. It is turning. A little bit at a time. Scared as hell I'm going to break it. It's getting easier. Alright, so this bolt's almost out of here. So while I'm backing this out, I just wanted to discuss something else here. So the other night, I had an aha moment laying in bed. And I said, you know, this intake manifold gasket is not going to solve my problem. With the older versions of this engine, the 3.1, the 2.8, I believe, let me zoom out here a little bit. There we go, okay. So somehow the coolant got routed over this intake. I don't know how, I never ripped one apart, but with this engine that's no longer the case. Back on my other videos here a little while ago, I took off this gizmo here that went from that side over to that side right there. There's a piece that went right there. That's where the cooling is routed on the I believe 3.5s and definitely the 3.9. So there's no coolant going through there. So bottom line is fixing that gasket's not going to solve my problem. So I've kind of made the decision that I'm going to go a little further and take the heads and everything off. It's going to be a challenge. I've never done anything like this before, but I think I can do it. I hope I can do it. I'm sure I can take it apart. Will it run again? I don't know.